for this submission, I'm gonna come like so. All right, and I wanna exaggerate this time. Unless you only got like 10 seconds on the clock, exaggerate this time. He starts to move around a little bit, post with my arm, and follow him. All right, his legs start to get a little bit crazy, underhook, and look, that's why I can lean, because look, this is what I want. I want to strain the arm. All right, post, he starts to kick up a little bit. Look, I'm just tucking my head like this. And at any point, you can go for the arm bar, and then come right back to your spider web, just to put a little strain on it, you know. From here, sit up, move on, pull the hips to you. All right, attack the arm bar. Boom, I sit up to the S mount. Now it's getting heavy on him. Boom, now I start to attack it again. If you want, you can finish him right here. Practice submitting this arm bar. But he locks his figure four. I come back. From here, get a control position. You can go over the top and shin scrape, or you can go over the top with the rear leg, and then I go bicep slice.
So when I'm in spider web, I want my lead side hand, elbow to elbow, as tight as it can get. And then I want my grip like it's grabbing a gi right here, as tight up as it can get. My rear hand, I need to be controlling this leg, this leg, this leg, however you want to do it. And then my cross legs need to be the one by his face underneath, so that way it's tight to him as opposed to over. You don't have to cross them, you could be here, but if you do cross them, cross with the head side underneath. All right. Now, one thing that I like to do, that I've started doing, is to maintain, like when I'm here, I've got the weight off of my opponent. So what I started doing is hooking my elbow through the legs, and then even like you could go from spider to S mount for a second, and then just kind of pulling yourself back up onto this position to maintain a super heavy position. Okay, because when my hips are on the floor, I'm not as heavy. But I can when I start to control his hips like this, if I was in the gi, I could grab the belt. But here I have a better control of his hips and can prevent any rocking. And you know, even here that does that, but sometimes you might get like kneed and they can still have one leg. But so I want you to try both. Like you can be here, and play with, you know, pulling the legs and then hooking like so. Now when I'm here, this gives me the opportunity to unlock my legs and then prop my weight up into this S mount position. Because when you go against better guys, you go to arm bar real quick right away. You know, he's waiting for the opportunity to kick up and to stack and to pull his arm out of there. And, you know, it's very difficult to arm bar. Guys that have been arm barred several times before, they know the timing, okay? So if I get here, one, elbow to elbow, and I'm tight on this arm. And look, I'm tight on the legs, and you just need to make sure, sometimes it's posting with this rear hand, sometimes it's leaning like this, sometimes it's posting here, or like I said, pulling the elbow and capturing the hip. And now I've got his hips in place, and then you can decide, okay, now I'm gonna put the weight, and then I'm gonna, okay. And all this time, I'm looking at his wrist, and I know, like I can feel there's pressure on my elbow, but I know there's more pressure on his because he's got to squeeze. If that slips out of him, boom, it's mine, all right? So, number one, grab the collar or the hip. It's good for you, it's a good controlling position, but you have to maintain, at any point in time, if you see this, if this thing gets loose or you see his palm, and then you can just hold a little bit, but if you can just, boom, then he's got to hold it tight enough to where when I do that, it doesn't, that's how I know he's straining more than I am, okay? So to review, when I'm in spider web, hooking, posting, or pulling to me. And then pulling, I'm exaggerating the time that he's uncomfortable, okay? Open the legs, S mount, and look, hang out, posting right here. You know, if there's any space made, I just go right back over the face. No problem here, tighten things up, all right? At any point, you can go back down, but look, I go back down and I put pressure on the arm again. Like I'm gonna wear this guy's arm out, all right? If he starts to kip up or starts to move around, look, I post my hand and we move. He starts to move his legs a little bit, well, I hook the leg and I lean. And look, when I lean, you see, I pull, I'm actually making a bar with my hand against my hip. If I go here, pull, I'm doing this, I'm putting constant pressure on his grip. If I pull here, look, I'm leaning, I'm putting constant pressure. Boom, I post up. Now I'm heavy. I'll go back over the face. When I get here, maybe it's worn out, and I can just extend the leg and kick it out. All right, and then get a good grip. How's that arm doing? It's worn out. All right. So by the time it's worn out, you can pick one of a few different breaks. Okay, but the one that I like to use, the two of them that are equally my favorites. Right, shin scrape. Take the leg, and I go over the bicep like this, and then I just stomp on the arm, slide it down, and submit them. Or I take the rear side leg and I go over, and then that figure four, and this one is the bicep slicer. He either taps to the bicep slice, or as this is going, he releases the grip, boom, and then I stomp on the arm and then submit with the arm bar just the same. Okay? So when I'm here, just from the static position, the technique would be uncross the legs. A little bit of flexibility helps, but my shin lines up evenly with this forearm. Scrape the arm, and then come back for the arm bar. The other side would be, now it's not a parallel, but it's a perpendicular angle to the forearm, and I make the figure four, and it's gonna crush the forearm and the elbow joint. He releases the grip, I stomp the arm, and then I get right back to it. Okay? Questions on that? So I want you to go through, take about a minute each. And we're here, we do the other side here. Yeah. So you can start here. Number one, lead side elbow deep. You could do rear side for MMA, no problem. But for this submission, I'm gonna come like so. All right, and I want to exaggerate this time. Unless you only got like 10 seconds on the clock, exaggerate this time. He starts to move around a little bit, post with my arm, and follow him. All right, his legs start to get a little bit crazy, underhook, and look, that's fine, I can lean, because look, this is what I want. I want to strain the arm. All right, post, he starts to kick up a little bit. Look, I'm just tucking my head like this. And at any point, you can go for the arm bar, and then come right back to your spider web, just to put a little strain on it, you know. From here, sit up, move on, pull the hips to you. All right, attack the arm bar. Boom, I sit up to the S mount. Now it's getting heavy on him. Boom, now I start to attack it again. If you want, you can finish him right here. Practice submitting this arm bar. But he locks his figure four. I come back. From here, get a control position. You can go over the top and shin scrape, or you can go over the top with the rear leg, and then I go bicep slice, arm bar, okay? So again, a little bit of flexibility for those last two grip breaks, but you can still, once you got that arm worn out, it's easier to do, all right? 5, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Find that submission. Nice work, Jacob Murphy. Way to follow through that. Stay with it. Woo!
Oh, sorry.
20 seconds. Time.